Some observations on Genesis chapters 14 and 15. We don't usually think of Abram or Abraham as a great general or conqueror, and yet when Lot is captured and taken away by kings that have made war against the kings of the area, including the king of Sodom, Abram goes and rescues Lot with 318 of the men born into his household. So Abram has not yet offspring, but he does have slaves who have children who are grown men, and so they pursue and they defeat those that have taken Lot away. And on the return, after the defeat of Chedorlaomer, the king of Sodom goes out to him, and we have this person, Melchizedek, king of Salem. Now, Malchi means my king. Sadak means righteous or holy. Salem means salam or shalom, is peace. So this is the king of righteousness of peace, or my king of righteousness of peace, who is priest to God Most High. We have no other record of who this person is. We do not have his genealogy. Yet Abram gives a tithe of everything to this Melchizedek, who blesses Abram and blesses God. Now, something also, Melchizedek is mentioned again in Psalm 110, and again in the book, the epistle to the Hebrews in the New Testament. And Melchizedek, or rather Jesus Christ, is tied to the priesthood of Melchizedek, not of Aaron, and not of Moses, not of the Levites, that tribe later. But Abram has not had any offspring yet, and yet recognizes Melchizedek and offers a tithe to God through Melchizedek. So there are some who would want to say, well, Mary, the mother of Jesus, must be of the tribe of Levi for Jesus to be priest, because Mary is somehow related to Elizabeth, who's a Levite woman. But none of the New Testament claims so. Now, some would say that the genealogy in chapter 3 of Luke's Gospel is not Joseph's but Mary's, but it's not written as Mary's, it's written as Joseph's. The New Testament writers do not feel the need to link Jesus to Levi, but the writer of the Hebrews considers Jesus a high priest like Melchizedek, who we do not know where his priesthood comes from, but there he is, and Abraham recognizes him. So in a sense, all of Abraham's children not yet born through Abram are recognizing this Melchizedek. Now, something further. The king of Sodom wants to reward Abram with the plunder that Abram has taken, and Abram will have none of it. He says, only what the young men who are with me have eaten, and what's been eaten on the way, and let others have it, but I don't want you to say that you have made Abram rich. Now, prior to this, we hear that the people of Sodom have sinned greatly against the Lord. So Abraham knows not to take anything from the king of Sodom. Are we satisfied to take from those when they want to recognize us and reward us, take from those who we know are not living right or who do evil? Abraham won't have any of it. And it's right after this that God makes this covenant with Abram. Abram is trusting in the Lord and the Lord alone, and sacrifice is made. And somebody who's done some more research on this kind of covenant, you usually make this covenant and you exchange your firstborn with one another, according to somebody's research. I have to look into that research. But God will give Abraham the child as promised, and then Abram will offer him, and the Lord will spare him and take a ram instead, and yet later God will offer his own son. So here's a sign of an eternal covenant and exchange with Abraham, or Abram, before God changes his name to Abraham. And notice Abram is not going to take anything from anyone who is sinning against the Lord and does not recognize or does not go and walk in the way of the Lord. But even someone whom we do not know where he comes from, Melchizedek, yet Abram offers a tithe to him. And so we have this tie later on from the writer of Hebrews talking about the high priestly order of Jesus, who is the Christ, is not of the Levitical line, but of Melchizedek, which means my king of righteousness, who is king of Salem, king of peace. Marvelous ties about 2,000 years before the Christ, and marvelous faith, and not taking anything from anybody who is not living the Lord's way. Some things to reflect upon. I hope this is of encouragement to you. Thank you very much, and God bless.